back to Musings by Nikki. I'm Nikki, and I am here today with a couple of journals that have kind of a storied history. They are scrap busting journals in a way, and something that I have been doing for a while now. And then I finally just kind of had enough bits and pieces and stuff and junk to finish them. I am super excited about them. This one is chunkin', hunkin' huge. And this one is just kind of fun and was an experiment with a spine and all kinds of different things. So without further ado, because it's going to take forever to flip through these, let's just get to them. We will go through, I don't know, let's just go through the big one first. So I will confess right now, I have no idea how many pages are in this sucker. It's huge. I think it's like a 3-inch spine. It has 7 signatures, but they're not all signatures necessarily per se. We'll get to that in just a second. It's huge, right? It's kind of divided into chapters. It's got all kinds of stuff and junk hanging off the edge here. We've got cassette tapes, buttons, a tree, an owl. Oops, I'm not even in film. Some more beads and acorns, a palm tree, a clock. I got that in Happy Meal recently. More buttons. We've got a little bee. We've got some beads, buttons, a unicorn, a music note, a treble staff, and another cool shank button. So all kinds of really cool stuff hanging out on the seam edges. I'm calling this one Noted. This is covered. It's hardcover with fabric on top, right? Oh. And the closure goes through eyelets here on the back, comes up and goes over this hitch post. Let's make sure I am in frame because, like I said, she's big. I'm going to move this one a little so I can stay in film here, or in frame. To open it, you just push down the front and pull this off. It's just a bow tied with some black jute. You could always untie that bow if you wanted to like expand it, make it bigger. Although honestly, guys, if you're into like putting lots of extra stuff in your books, this one's probably not for you. But if you like to write and if you like to journal in creative ways around creative little nooks and sewing and frames and stuff like that, then something like this is going to be for you. It'd be a great way to memory keep quotes, gratitude. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you could put little bits of gratitude in here. So I did use my kit Noted, and you will see some of those pages in here. That's where all these words came from. But the rest of it is mostly junk. Scraps, not junk, scraps. So the journal is divided into 7, each signature is its own little file folder clipped together with one of these. Then in between each of those signatures, there's like a go-between with windy guys, and it's almost like kind of lap book Flippy-flappy in there. And I took a lot of inspiration for these from Emily at Junk Journal Inspirations, formerly Emma Femmer's Treasure, and she just finished a Flippy-flappy envelope book. So kind of took some of those ideas from her. Then here's the next signature I'll clip together, then another one of those in-betweens, the next signature, another one of the in-betweens, and the last signature. So we're just going to start at the very beginning, a very good place to start. This comes off, and it's like a file folder, right? And it opens up, and here we go. Let the adventure begin. This is my Noted kit. And then, so what it is there's a ton of sewing in this, and it's scraps of paper that are offcuts from other things. Most of this is scraps of paper that are offcuts and things that became that went into my scrap drawer that I slowly over time, as I would get some, I would start sewing them together like this, with the thought that eventually I would bind them all together into a book and we'd have all these cool scrappy little pieces. So this is what I'm saying. If you like journaling inside of interesting places that are defined differently, right? This is a cool book for you. That's a Tracy Fox, I think. Then I've got some of these 1 through 10 pages. Here's another, so these are 3 little Flippy-flappies here. So you can journal inside of the sewing on the back. You can journal inside the little coffee stained papers on the front, right? And then a lot of this stuff is like cutoffs from other things, or like these pages here, this is Tim Holtz paper. These I pulled out of a signature at some point because I had too many pages. Imagine that. I should have done that to this one, but oh well. So those came out, so they went into this pile. So I've had this pile going for quite a while. I don't even know, months and months and months. And as I made things, I would just sew some things together. So this is a piece of vellum, and it's got a coffee stained paper sewn on that side and an offcut of something sewn on that side. This one, you could turn it sideways and journal on these little strips or write something going down, but they're all little flappy strips here, right? And those are on top of, now let me make sure I'm back in frame. Those are on top of a piece of, these are some trims, you know. Okay. Here's another little bit. That one I turned into a pocket, and it's got a little scrapbook, scrap tags in there. It's another page from Noted. So when I was going to put this all together, I had created this Noted kit, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's perfect for what I was doing. Here's another offcut, you know, sewn onto another offcut. In the center of every one of these big signatures, there is an envelope right here. So you could put pictures or, you know, stuff in there. And then it's held together with, actually, this is a vintage office supply. Forget what those are called, like X-clips or something. Anyway, it's held together with that. There's another piece. There's more of Noted. Some grungy coffee stain. A map page. Some more of those Flippy-flappy guys. Here's another one of the little vellum thing. More Tim Holtz. Here's the other half of those long, skinny, flappy guys. 1 through 10 page. There's some strips of paper that I had that have been sewn around. So on the back side, you can, it's kind of hard to see in the video, but you know, they're little defined spaces that you could write notes inside of or something, doodle inside of. Another page of Noted, and then the back side of that one. Okay, so I don't know why, I just kind of liked the idea of like the signature then being closed again. So then we'll get to the first of our little windy guy section, lap booky type of things. So it goes, winds around, winds around and around and around, and then it stays back there. So you open it up, and we've got all kinds of flippy-flappy goodness. So this little guy here is sitting on top of an envelope, and he flips open, and there are some bits and pieces inside that envelope. Then this is a belly band with one of my cards from Noted. And then that is an envelope, that's on an envelope, and it flips open, and there's a big tag inside there. Oh, and then this isn't back in frame, right? There we go. This is a junk mail envelope. It's got a layaway card in there, so like a window envelope. And then that flips open, and there's a pocket here with some, these are some vintage flashcards, and then there's some Tim Holtz ephemera in there as well. So that closes in, that goes shut. Then in the middle of it, there is a vellum envelope, and these are from my friend Emily. Thanks, Em. That was part of my Christmas present. And then a cool file folder. Those go into the pocket of the vellum envelope. And then on this side, the vellum envelope opens, and there's a Tim Holtz like wallpaper in there that you can just journal on the back of. Which of course go back in there now. Come on. There we go. Then I've put a little library pocket. Those are from the local library here. This one is Micronesian Reef Fishes by Robert F. Myers. And then I've put some little cutesy playing cards, the sassy squirrel, and then a little postcard thing. Then on this side of the Flippy-flappies, there is, so I made this belly band, and in there is just a piece of stationery, okay, with a cute little deer on it, and that goes behind this belly band. And that's on a big envelope that flips open, and there's a time card inside there. Then there's a guest check inside of this window envelope that flips open. And there are some card catalogs, another piece of ephemera, and this is Zoe Sophia's scrapbook. So there we go. That's the Flippy-flappy middle section. Okay, so then that just goes back around, and back around there. Then our next section, we'll just go through. This one has, this opens up here, and there is, this is actually a little paper pad stuck behind it with that hanging out, and then this is the same, this is just a little piece of, is this on a paper pad or is this one attached? Nope, that's a paper pad too in that pocket, and I've just left the flappy one sticking out in front. More of noted. Little bits of scrappy paper sewn together. This one has all kinds of bits of paper sewn on it. 5 different little bits sewn onto this. Kind of Franken-Page style, I guess, in a way. But then I love the way it looks on back too. And my sewing machine was not having the best day while I was doing some of these. I remember this day. I remember being very frustrated. And it was when I figured out that I really needed to oil my machine. But I also, coming out of that, was some really sloppy, weird stitching that actually I really do like. Like, there's no way I could ever recreate it unless I just ruined a machine or something. But I do love the way that that showed up. Here's some more of those little flippy strip pieces. This one just has a bunch of papers sewn down on. This one folds down. That's from a book that I've been ripping up for a long time. Here's a kind of dimensional piece of some stacked up papers that are just flippy. Here's another piece of small flippy. This one's got 3 different things sewn on it, right? So you can see better on this one because it's white. All the interesting places it leaves you to write there. Another piece of Tim Holtz. Some crunchy coffee stain, more of noted. Then this is the pocket in the center of this one. The big kind of folder envelope here. Like I said, they have nothing in them because there's just no way I could put anything more in this book. That's more of my kit noted. I mean, doesn't it go perfect with this? Stacked papers. And then, like I said, these are all just like, so here's the paper that had a fold in the corner that I didn't, you know, I must have pushed for some reason, set it aside. It ended up in this pile, so it ended up in this book. Little off-cut pieces. This is a perfect way to do your off-cut pieces. I mean, I've just been sewing these together. It's kind of like a take on the end of project, right? At the end of the project, if you have little scrappy pieces, again, rather than just throw them in the bin or the scrap thing, sew some together and start a little, you know, envelope full of this or a little basket or something, and then just throw pieces in there until all of a sudden, look at this. I've got all this. Here's another little bit. Here are some more little pieces sewn on here. This one's got 3 little cute pieces there. Some more crazy sewing, the Angry Sewing Machine Day. And this one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little pieces on there as well. All different kinds. That's another piece of Noted. And that's the end of that one. So you certainly wouldn't need to keep them clipped together. I just think it's fun. Then we've got our next little go-between section here. And this time we've got a cute little boy sitting on top of the envelope. And he flips out belly band. And that flips up. Here's another window envelope. It's got a layaway tag in there that's coffee stained grungy. Another pocket full of goodies. Then another little file folder and bingo card. Oh, I thought it was glued in there for a second. I was going to say I didn't glue. Another wallpaper sample in here. This time you get Amaranth by John Cole. A cute little owl. Oh, owls are my jam. And you get the woolly lamb and the Louvre. Then another belly band with another piece of that deer stationery in there. Flips open another time card. Here's another tag in this window envelope here, right? And then there's some more. Then this is the diggingest dog. All right, so there's that one. Next signature. There's this little scrappy bit. Oh, more Angry Sewing Machine Day. That's Noted. Oh, there's a pocket there. Here are some more scrappy pieces just sewn on as like a notebook. And this must be some trims I was working with that I didn't actually finish cutting out, so I just threw the page in there and now I'm using it as a page. On the back side there's some more scrappy bits as a little notebook. Another 1 through 10. Some more flippy-flappy pieces. That's kind of puffy. Kind of feels cool. This is some old planner, bits of planner that Emily sent me a long time ago, I think. Oh, that was really Angry Sewing Machine Day. Right there. Hey guys, oil your sewing machines. Take care of them. Better care than I did at first. The envelope in the center of this signature. That's the other side of that Angry Sewing Machine. Look at this, guys. Look how that sewing machine was just not having it. But isn't it kind of cool looking? Also tension. That's a lot to do with tension. More Tim Holtz paper. Some little flippy-flappy guys. So the sewing machine wasn't so angry on that day. Oh, it is. It's kind of a pocket that goes down through. So you could stick something in there. More Noted papers. Oh, this is a little pocket up on top that's just got some more scraps in it. Polka dot die paper. And that's that signature. Then our last of the go-between lap booky parts things. I was just commenting in the Facebook group the other day about somebody who couldn't remember the name of what it was that they were making, and I think it was clusters. I thought they looked like clusters. And I said, but you know, if you can't think of what it is, just make something up because that's fun. So what am I calling these? Flippy-flappy thingamajigger go-between signature things. That's what I'm calling them. Okay, so this one's got some lovely ladies sitting on top of the envelope. And they flip open, and there's the belly band back there. And then the whole thing goes up. We've got our junk mail envelope here that flips out, and then some flashcards and Tim Holtz. Then we've got our bingo card in our little file folder. Tim Holtz. This one's got the London Eye. Another cute owl. And you get the sly fox. That goes in Nature's Nightlife. Nature's Nightlife. Then there's more stationery behind this belly band, which is also made out of a bunch of scraps. So if there were scraps after I had sewn something together, scraps went onto the outside to cover up these envelopes. There's a guest check in there. And then there is a couple of card catalog ones. And here you go. This is the Ultraviolet Catastrophe. Oh, that doesn't sound very good. All right. So that's the last of the Flippy-flappy lap booky go-between sections. And our final signature. All right, some more fun little sewn around. We got going on here. Some of them I'm like, how did I do this? Oh, it's just a little thing and it's got a stapled together notebook on top of it. That's some more of Noted. Another Tim Holtz page. Then we've got a long one and kind of a short one there. Cool map paper. I love that paper. Old map. I must have had one of my Noted labels, so I glued it on. This is some wallpaper that was in there. I don't even remember where I got that. This is a wallpaper, but it was like a weird cut piece and it had some tape on it and stuff. So, but now it's covered up and sewn on. And this is a little stapled notebook in this pocket here. This is some of my favorite paper. It's so cool. Bears, flowers, butterflies, deer, and it's gold foiled. You're lucky. I had this in my hand and I wanted to hoard it, and then I said no. I put it in here for a reason. So it's in here. Painfully, but it is. Then here's the pocket inside this center of this signature. This is a top tuck spot here with a little notebook in there. That's the other side of that one. It's the wallpaper. So this one didn't have as much problems. Some little torn pieces of ledger on there. And the other side of that map paper. See, like, I think it'd be fun to journal sideways in this and then around the sides of this. I don't know, I just think that sounds like fun. You know, you can put a little note here, you can doodle. If you're a doodler, this book would also be super fun if you were like a doodler. If you wanted to practice Zentangling around inside of little spots, that would be really fun. More of my Noted. This has just got a weird chunk cut out of it, so I'm sure that's why it made it into the pile. This has got a little flappy notebook inside of this pocket here. And then it's got one of my Noted, one of the cards that comes with Noted there. Some more cool sewing on this one. And that's the end of that signature. So you guys, that's a unique book, huh? Unique is a good word for it. But I kind of really like the way it turned out. And honestly, I think I'll just keep throwing, even though I'm doing my end of the project thing now, I think I'll keep throwing in bits and pieces. I think I'll keep this bin going because it's kind of fun. And I really like this one. So then along with it, I made this one because I still had scraps. So this is, if you remember back, boy, long, long ago in a land far, far away, which literally it was far away because it's when I lived in Minneapolis. I made a bunch of, we did a scrap busting thing and took a bunch of 12 by 12 papers that I wasn't so fond of the fronts of and collaged a bunch of scraps onto them. So this is a piece of that. Then I took some of the Tim Holtz like tissue paper and Mod Podged that over the top. And I love, love, love the way it feels. But I also love how it turned out because the Tim Holtz stuff already has like layering, but then it's got my layering of collage underneath. It's just really cool. So, and then this is one of the windy guys that I made in my video recently. So this just winds around. And I'll tell you about the spine. So this was kind of an experiment here, right? I wanted to make a book that kind of did this thing. And I knew that the Mod Podge and stuff would crack over time. And I wanted to make sure that this was really well reinforced and everything. So what I thought I would do was I started zigzagging, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I kind of like the way it turned out. So, I mean, let's see if I can carefully do this here. Get in between that. So that's what I did, right? Zigzag, zigzag, zigzagged. And I kind of like the way it turned out. So, anyway, whoops. Now I'm losing things. So, this one, much the same, right? It's scrappy papers. But what I had done was, this has got a little ex libris down here. What I had done was made a bunch of these little stapled together pads of paper out while I was making those, or sometimes I would just staple some together or something. And so I had a whole bunch of those flappy little scrap notebooks. So that's mainly what's in this one. Then I also had some little some different kinds of little stickers. So like here, so this is just, let's start going. I've put some of those little random letter stickers. These are little label looking things. Then I had some paper ruffles that I must have sat and made one day out of a bunch of the scraps. And then I made a bunch of little clusters as well off of the little tiny like ripped off stuff. Then my noted kit comes with some cards. So this is just from, probably these were from when I was, you know, printing. So I was drafting and printing things off just to see how they looked. And so that's where some of these came from. And then it also comes with some words. So this one says communication. Then here's another little flippy notebook. Right? And that's on top of this writing paper and a little cluster and another cluster and some little bits. This one says notes. That's got a fabric ruffle. This says write. And then there's some more of those little, these are meant to look like little typewriter keys. Another cluster. This is one of the envelopes that comes with noted. There's nothing in it. That's a noted label and a little cluster and some more of those little stickers. It's a big long piece of ledger that folds out and some more of those typewriter keys. This is some old computer paper I was gifted in Happy Mail. And then another ruffle and another little notepad on here. With some yummy crinkly paper in there. And a big clock pocket. I had half of this big clock piece left, so some of that went in with some little offcuts of that lined folder. These probably came when I was cutting the folders down for there. This was ripped, so that ended up in the pile. Some Tim Holtz offcuts. Cluster, another little notebook. Then here's a little, oh, this has got a little coin envelope from Noted in there. And then a big piece of Tim Holtz. Oh, a big piece of Tim Holtz in there. Another card. This writing paper, this is a cluster, is it's really cool. It's like embossed, so kids can actually feel where the top and the bottom of the line is as they're writing. It's kind of cool. It's really cool, actually. More clusters that says written. Paper ruffles. Little cluster with a Noted label on it. Here's another little notepad and cluster. There's a tuck spot. This is the back side of that tuck spot with a Tim Holtz piece and some more offcut. This is just a really cool envelope that I don't know why it was in there, but since it was in there, I honored that. Noted also comes with some of these cards that if you cut out the edges of it, it just literally looks like a stack of stacked papers, right? So those are fun. And then there's some other little bits in there. This is a little belly band with a piece of Tim Holtz ephemera and then another little coin envelope from my Noted kit. More clusters, some of those stickers on the back. There's a tuck spot with some Noted journal cards. More of that cool lined paper. This time the clock is on the top. And these bridge scores, I believe that those came from Emily as well. Probably. Emily has got all kinds of cool vintage ephemera. If you don't know about Emily's shop, you should certainly go check it out. She's got all kinds of cool ephemera in her shop. Junk Journal Inspirations, it's called on Etsy. Here's another little flappy notebook. Ooh, that's some cool map paper in between those one. A big cluster. Some more flappy pieces. This is another envelope from Noted. Here's another little flappy notebook. Computer paper. Another little pocket. So like this one ripped all weird, so I'm sure I just threw it in there because of that. There's a little guy. Well, he's a little guy, but he's an older gentleman. There's a cluster with another little Noted label on it. Here's a top-loading tuck spot. Another cluster. And then this shows through the paper underneath. It says Scribbles. And here's another little notebook. This one says Best Moment. Another fold out of that extra long ledger. Some more paper ribbons. Another pocket. The big piece of Tim Holtz in the back. Tim Holtz ephemera. I couldn't tell you which Tim Holtz ephemera kit that was from. Here's another. One's got some vellum in it. So that is the back of the signature. Then at the back of the book, there is also this pocket, right? Kind of an accordion pocket. And in there, there are these. So these are a couple of envelopes that I made using the Windy Guide. And they're out of Tim Holtz paper, and then they've got some Tim Holtz bits in there that are journaling cards. So, you know, at the back of a Tim Holtz paper pad, you get 6x6 pieces. So you get a 12x12 that's got 4 6x6 pieces on it. And then you get ones that have a bunch of these small, like ATC size ones. And I always just have them around and I never deal with them or know what to do with them and stuff. So I just decided that as I was working on scrap busting, I would deal with those too. So these 2 envelopes, this is the same. It opens up and there's journal cards in there. And then this one, another windy guy here. Big long string. I don't know why, because I like winding it around a bunch of times. So on the front here, it's an envelope with a journal card in there. So again, these are more of those 6x6 pieces that I was like, what should I do with? So there on the front, it opens up, that's an envelope. On the back, there is a pocket with the strange lives of familiar insects. Funny. And then you open that up and there are some of the noted journaling cards in there. And then there's a little mini signature with some offcuts of grungy paper. So a little mini notebook, right? So this thing's in there as well. So these go in that back pocket. Now certainly you could choose to take these out and throw them in your purse or use them in Happy Mail or, you know, throw them in other journals and you could, you know, do other memory keeping things inside of here. But you've got this accordion folder on the back. And then that all closes. And I tried to kind of keep some of the notebooks going along the side because I liked this kind of scrappy look on the side. So I liked when, you know, the thought of you open it up and it looks kind of like an accordion file. That's kind of what I was looking for, just full of stuff, right? But it's actually a journal. So that's what I was going for with this one. And guys, this is all kinds of stuff that would have ended up in my scrap bin or in the garbage bin had I not decided to start this. So anyway, these will be in my shop when this video goes live. These will be in there. I do hope you go take a look. Thank you for hanging out with me today. If you are an avid journaler, I would suggest starting something like this. It's kind of fun. And as you go through it, it brings back all kinds of memories about the things that you used the different pieces for. Anyway, these will be in my shop. And thank you for spending some time hanging out with me as we flip through these fun little journals. Not little, fun, chunky, giant journals. And until I see you guys next time, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night, whatever time it is, on whatever side of this globe of ours that you live on. And until I see you next time, stay safe and healthy, stay creative, do something you enjoy doing, have a nice hot cup of coffee or tea if that's your jam. That's mine. And I will see you guys soon. Take care and God bless you. Bye-bye.